His story begins in a world where people use magic every day, and everyone has a black mark on their face which shows that they can do magic. Those who don't have this mark are considered outcasts and are eventually killed. Somewhere in a forest lives a strong, muscular boy named Mashle, who resides in a hut with his dad Regro. Though he doesn't have magical abilities, he mostly handles difficult stuff with his muscular power. For him, even an extreme workout is a piece of cake, and when he finishes his workout, he goes to meet his dad. Before entering, he forgets if he should pull or push the door, so he ends up breaking it and then apologizes to Regro. While they both have tea, Mashle inquires Regro about the reason behind his physical training, to which Regro says that he will tell him some other day. Deep inside, Regro knows that Mashle lacks magical powers, so he must be strong enough through physical training. Regro then leaves and warns Mashle not to go to the city, but as soon as his dad is gone, Mashle instantly covers his face and heads to the city to buy some cream puffs. He finally gets some cream puffs from a shop, but in excitement, he clenches his fist so hard that the coins lose their shape, scaring the shopkeeper. When Mashle gives them a perfect shape again, the shopkeeper gets even more astonished. While eating his cream puffs, the wind blows and reveals his face to the public, surprising everyone because he doesn't have the black mark. Meanwhile, at the police station, Officer Brad reads about a student named Rain Ames who has won the Divine Visionary, a special title given to the best student in Eastern Magic Academy. This makes him jealous as he is not rewarded fairly for his services as a police officer. He is then informed that a person without a magical mark has been seen in the city, and Brad rushes to investigate the case. On the other hand, Mashle walks around the streets and notices people staring at him, but he doesn't understand why and continues eating his cream puffs. He accidentally bumps into a drunk officer named Terry, making his uniform dirty with the cream. Mashle apologizes, but the officer throws away his cream puff, yelling at him. Mashle rips off his shirt, promising to wash and return it. But just then, Officer Brad shows up. Seeing Mashle with no face mark, Brad realizes he is the one who was reported to him earlier, and he approaches Mashle to inquire. Suddenly, Regro appears and grabs Mashle, instantly running away while Brad sends a magical bird to chase them. Back home, Regro scolds Mashle for going to the city despite the warning, and Mashle asks for forgiveness. Regro forgives him, but tells him that he will have to work out again as a punishment. As Mashle leaves for the workout, Regro sees the magical bird sent by Brad, and suddenly Brad arrives at their house with his men, demanding to know where Mashle is. Meanwhile, Mashle finishes his workout quickly and returns home, but just as he's about to enter, he overhears Brad telling Regro that those who can't perform magic have no right to live a life. Brad tries to force Regro to reveal Mashle's location, but he doesn't. In a flashback, it is revealed that Regro had always felt like a failure in his life because he didn't have strong magical abilities. The feeling of being a failure became so strong that one day, he decided to take his life, but then he heard a baby crying. As Regro went near the baby, he realized that the boy was abandoned because he didn't have a magical mark on his face. Regro adopted him and named him Mashle because it was the first time he felt someone needed him. In the present, Mashle enters the hut despite Regro stopping him, and a fierce fight ensues between the officers and Mashle. Terry gets his shirt torn again, and Brad is confused to see a boy defeating him only with his muscular power. In the end, Mashle warns him that if he ever tries to become a threat to him or his father, he will kill him. However, Brad tells him if he doesn't pursue him, someone else will do it. Although Mashle has the ability to defeat anyone with his physical power, society might be a great threat to Regro. Subsequently, Brad proposes a deal that if Mashle enrolls in the Eastern Magic Academy and becomes a Divine Visionary, he will not pursue his family and society will also accept him. Mashle agrees to the deal, surprising Regro. Mashle enrolls at the prestigious Eastern Magic Academy with a fake mark on his face, and now he has to pass the entrance exam. This exam has a very low success rate, with fewer than 3% of applicants passing it. Luxie, a professor, oversees the candidates busy preparing for the entrance exam. But then he spots Mashle lifting weights effortlessly, which is odd since this is not a workout area. After working out, Mash starts reading a fitness book, creating an invisible chair, making Lucci believe that he will never pass the test. Along with Mash, Regro and Brad are also present in the academy, who want to see the results. Soon, Lucci announces that he will supervise the exam, and then he magically prepares the venue, leaving everyone amazed. However, Mash remains unimpressed, suggesting Lucci could have taken them all to a pre-prepared room. This makes Lucci angry, but he doesn't reply, releasing Mash as he thinks he will fail the exam anyways. As the exam begins, applicants check their papers, but the questions keep shifting around, making them hard to read. It is revealed that Lucci enchanted the papers with magic, requiring candidates to align the questions themselves with their magic. Brad and Regro fear for Mash, but Mash breaks his pen, and in fear the words on the question paper align themselves. Mash takes the paper to Lucci, who is surprised by the perfect alignment of everything. After that, Mash showcases his extraordinary muscular abilities to excel in other parts of the exam, surprising everyone, but Lucci remains determined to find a way to remove Mash. Lucci then creates a maze from the ground, giving examinees 30 minutes each to get out of it. As the task begins, Lemon, a girl, joins Mash, asking him if they can complete this goal together. Mash agrees, but as they continue their task, Lemon repeatedly falls into traps, wasting Mash's time. Unexpectedly, Lemon magically handcuffs Mash and tells him that she must stop him from reaching his goal. But Mash easily breaks free and runs away. Suddenly, a huge, scary creature confronts Lemon, asking her a riddle. And when she can't answer, it attacks her. Mash intervenes, knocking out the creature with a single punch, and Lemon wonders why he saved her. Mash explains to her that if he had not saved her, he would have regretted it later on. Because of the less time remaining, Mash destroys the maze, creating a path for him to get out with Lemon, leading other successful examinees to accuse him of cheating. However, Lemon reveals Lucci promised to help her get into the school if she stopped Mash from completing the goal. In response, Lucci decides to expel both of them, but Mash shatters Lucci's wand with his fist, stating Lucci has gone too far. Just then, Headmaster Wahlberg arrives, announcing that he will take the final interview and selects Mash as the first applicant. During the interview, the headmaster asks Mash some questions, which he answers, but other teachers are not pleased with him. Using his magic, the headmaster makes a huge creature appear in the hall, which is about to stab a doll with a blade. The headmaster explains that Mash has to stop the blade from stabbing the doll, as it has the soul of someone dear to Mash. Just then, Regro goes unconscious, indicating that his soul has been captured inside the doll. Mash stops the creature's blade, but while doing so ends up injuring his hand. The headmaster reveals that Mash has passed the final interview, and now he can join classes. Later in class, the selected students learn a basic spell to open locks, but Mash breaks the lock using his hands. This annoys the teacher, who confronts him, but Mash clarifies to her that he isn't skilled in magic. Finn, a fellow student, hopes Mash isn't his roommate. However, his hope shatters when Mash turns out to be his roommate. Mash surprises him by introducing his muscles with names, making Finn consider him a total weirdo. Mash asks him how to become the divine visionary at the academy, to which Finn reveals that a student has to pass a series of tests, win gold, silver, and bronze coins, and showcase his magical abilities in all the fields to win the title. Mash asks Finn if he can lend his broom for the next class's activity because he mistakenly brought a massive plant root, thinking it was a broom. Finn agrees, and the following day, their teacher starts teaching them how to fly using brooms magically. When Mash tries to fly with the broom, it doesn't respond to him, and a fellow student starts mocking him for wasting class's time. Frustrated, Mash stamps his foot onto the ground, causing the broom to fly into his hand, and the other student accuses him of cheating. He challenges Mash to a broom race with the condition that the loser will have to obey the winner until graduation. Mash accepts the challenge, and they gear up for the race. Unexpectedly, Mash wins the race effortlessly, setting a new speed record, and everyone is clueless as to how Mash did that except Finn. Mash's opponent doesn't accept that Mash has won the race, prompting Mash to tell him that he doesn't have to obey him till graduation. Suddenly, another student named Cavil appears, who intervenes on Mash's behalf, closing his opponent's mouth with his magic. All the students in the academy are afraid of Cavil because of his connections with a vice principal, and whoever stands against him gets expelled. Cavil asks Mash to meet him after the classes, but Mash gets busy making cream puffs. The next day, Cavil offers a deal to Mash that if he follows Cavil's orders, he will help him become divine visionary, which Mash readily accepts. Eventually, Mash follows Cavil's orders obediently, but every morning he discovers that his books have been tampered with. Mash asks Finn to share his book, which Finn reluctantly disagrees with, but Mash takes it as a yes, remarking he is a good guy. It turns out that Cavil has been forcing Finn to tamper with Mash's books.